Dzień dobry. Rzadko bywam na niedzielnych streamach, ale ten zdobył taką renomę, że muszę to zobaczyć na żywo. Fajnie, że jesteś, Kornisz, bo załapałeś się na finał. W sensie kończymy to. Wiem, że to samo mówiłem w ubiegłym tygodniu i skończylibyśmy, gdyby nie to, że gra się zepsuła i nas oszukała. Nie striggerował się jeden event, przez który nie mogliśmy ruszyć dalej, ale chwila googlowania na żywo w internecie pozwoliła pchnąć grę odrobinę do przodu. Okazało się, że z poziomu Scanvi jest dostępna jest wiersz poleceń, z którego można modyfikować na bieżąco, na szybko stan gry, w zasadzie pliki z zapisami. Ale żeby formalności stało się zadość, to oczywiście witam serdecznie wszystkich fanów przygodówek w to niedzielne popołudnie. Nie ma głosowania na następną grę przygodową, nie będę kłamał, Sherlock mnie odrobinę zmęczył. Muszę sobie znaleźć takiego prawdziwego bangera, taką absolutnie najlepszą przygodówkę, żebym miał pewność, że będzie mi pasowała. W związku z czym muszę się nad tym gruntownie zastanowić. Czy to zastanawianie będzie trwało do przyszłej niedzieli? Czy może dłużej na przykład? Tego jeszcze nie postanowiłem. Po takim cugu, tak. A propos cugu, to przypominam wam do przyszłego roku, no nie, coś tam wcześniej zagramy. Przypominam, że jest już do ściągnięcia, do obejrzenia na YouTubie i w waszych ulubionych aplikacjach podcastowych Forumogadka numer 320. Wczorajsza premiera prosto do waszych usiodołów. Myślałem, że to taki żart z powiadomieniem z tym Sherlockiem. Nie, to nie jest żart, to jest na serio. Powiem wam więcej, na pewno to dzisiaj skończymy, ponieważ chciałem uniknąć takiej sytuacji jak w ubiegłym tygodniu. I krótko po tym, jak skończyłem stream, skończyłem tą grę. W sensie poświęciłem jej jeszcze 45 minut, żeby ją skończyć. Powinno nam to zająć więcej niż 45 minut, bo oczywiście skubowałem wszystkie dialogi tylko po to, żeby pchnąć historię dalej do przodu i mieć pewność, że się nam uda. Więc spoiler, uda się nam dzisiaj. Skończyliśmy na zapleczu u fotografa, który pomagał w skopiowaniu formuły wykradzionej z ministerstwa. To było to zaplecze, na które nie mogliśmy wejść właśnie w wyniku błędu pliku zapisu gry, więc teraz już z górki. Nie pamiętam, na czym skończyliśmy rozmowę z nim, ale tradycyjnie chyba trzeba go wypytać o wszystko, tylko najpierw obejrzymy sobie tutaj wszystko, co jest w koło. Tradycyjnie metodą Sherlockową zresztą. Okay. Myciader myślę, że się połapiesz. To jest tak dobra gra, jak dobry serial. Można w każdej chwili dołączyć. Trochę pamiętam z tego, co grałem w ubiegłym tygodniu, więc wybaczcie, jeżeli po prostu będę pędził, ale myślę, że domyślicie się, jaki jest logiczny ciąg wydarzeń. Cześć zbiciu. Dobra. Tak jaki był minimalny wiek gierek, żeby się załapały. No, próg odcięcia to jest 99 rok, tak. Circa about. Są jakieś szczególne przypadki po 2000, to rozpatrywane indywidualnie.
No doubt your avocation is more lucrative than conventional portraiture.
My business is hardly your concern.
To your misfortune, Hargrove, you and what you are pleased to call your business have become obsessions. Watson, you might ring Lestrade. Tell him to bring a warrant for this reprobate. We're dealing with a habitual criminal, traitor, pornographer, and who knows what else.
Hold on now, you're not the police. Don't be hasty.
Hold on now.
Where is your negative library?
Clients usually take their negatives with their proofs. I discard the remainder. I have no storage facilities.
I suppose I must toss the place, if only to discover if you lie from habit or for cause.
Bo to długa gra
I wonder
jest, ale
Skerritt
dobra.
did not request a daguerreotype. He might at least have made a pretense of selling a unique copy.
He rejected my suggestion. Ignorance, I imagine, insisted on the collodion, wanted the negative.
Obviously. But for what purpose? The Prussian would have wanted exclusivity. Perhaps Skerritt intends to sell the formula more than once. Perhaps you kept a copy, thinking you might do some business on your own.
Only the strongest compulsion could make me violate my ethical standards.
Oh, please, your lies are lame, and even your excuses have peg legs. How did you inform Skerritt that the photograph was ready?
He returned at an appointed time.
I think not. He didn't want you to think the work was urgent. No, you telephoned him. That was his idea. He'd want as little exposure as possible. What is his telephone number?
Perhaps I did telephone him, but the number has slipped from my memory. I'm quite remiss in that department.
Coś bajeruje.
Your reputation precedes me wherever I go in London, Mr. Hargrove.
You must associate with a fine class of people.
An acquaintance has suggested that you regularly create composites, that is to say, bogus photographs.
Orlando
Rubbish.
mieliśmy
Your
przygody
friend
już
is
tej.
misinformed. Young people so often are. Composites are an expensive and potentially dangerous business. I wouldn't consider it.
Mr. Hargrove, I'm in a position to do you very little good and a great deal of harm.
Is that intended as a warning?
It is simply a fact. Remember it as we speak.
If you insist, Mr. Holmes, I shall try. It must queue up as one of many urgent claims on
Nie,
my
za tydzień
memory.
już Sherlocka nie będzie. Dobra. Pod tym dywanem jest safe, którym on trzyma. Nie pamiętam, czy negatywy, w każdym razie ukrywa tutaj dokumenty. Tartaka, myślałeś nad The Longest Journey? Myślałem. Nie lubię tego stylu graficznego. Nie podoba mi się. Nigdy nie grałem. W sensie grałem, ale nigdy nie skończyłem The Longest Journey. Safe jest zamknięty.
I wish to see the contents of this cabinet. Will you give me the combination?
I never use it. Really, I can't recall the last time I put anything in there. I forget things, you see. They disappear. In all the excitement, I've forgotten it completely. It may come to me, but I doubt it.
Ja wiem, jaka jest szyfr do tego sejfu, w sensie skąd go wziąć.
It's likely he has recorded the
Ale zdaje się,
combination to the
trzeba
safe.
Watsona
If you can suggest where,
skonsultować
we
w tym
might
zakresie.
escape another of his lies.
I've no idea. Why do you think he's recorded it?
Because I think he inadvertently told us something true. He said his memory is bad. I suspect it is. He has no reason to lie about it.
I z tej rozmowy panowie sugerują, że skoro jesteśmy już w opcjach, to zrobimy sobie save'a. Pamiętacie, że ilekroć wchodziliśmy do sklepu, to on prosił, żeby zabrać wizytówkę. Więc numer telefonu z jego wizytówki jest również kombinacją do sejfu. Tylko teraz, która to była ta jego wizytówka? Document, sheet of music? No nie, to powinniśmy to już wcześniej mieć. No to na końcu powinno być. To jest od Denuara. To są dokumenty, banknocy. Station document. O, jest, to jest to. Cześć, bunkier. Folder skonfiskowany. Okej. Jeżeli chodzi o inny tytuł do grania, to ja czekam na któregoś Star Treka, może kiedyś się doczekam. Próbowałem Star Treki, 25. rocznicę i potem jest jeszcze drugi point and click. Mam nawet Star Treki Borga, to jest Borg się chyba nazywa. To jest taka FMV przygodówka, natomiast chciałbym te point and clickowe Star Treki zagrać, natomiast one mają jedną fatalną rzecz, elementy zręcznościowe, kiedy trzeba latać statkiem, włączać fazery, tarcze i tak dalej i nie można tego w żaden sposób skipnąć. I one są legendarnie trudne.
Whose telephone number have you kept? Is it Scarrett's?
Please, Mr. Holmes, I beg you.
If you expect me to care, you'll have to say more.
I cannot. I will not.
You face ruination and prison, and still you will not help yourself. Who is capable of causing such fear? Not Scarrett, I think. Silence will neither serve nor save you, Hargrove. When I find this fiend, then I will. I'll let it be known that you betrayed him.
Nieźle, pod pociąg wrzuca. Dobra. I tu. Czy pokazanie tego coś mu daje? No effect.
I have no doubt that this is what Lawton was afraid of. This is what caused him to agree to terminate the ministry investigation.
I'm hopeful that you'll explain yourself.
Given his penchant for self-promotion, why is none of his work displayed?
Perhaps it is too artistic for exhibition.
True. Salacious subject matter thrives on reputation, but it requires occasional viewing. Perhaps he keeps his naughty bits secreted away, as young boys hide French postcards.
Black Dahlia już była, panie kolego.
A photographer's chemicals have much in common with those used in the manufacture of explosives.
I'm a novice, as you witnessed.
Cellulose nitrates are the basis of high explosives. Is our photographer a bomber?
I doubt it, and so do you.
Do you know the woman in the photo?
She certainly looks familiar.
She should. It's a somewhat younger Alexandra, the Princess of Wales. The plan was diabolical, Watson, and I've been a dunce. Early on, I dismissed the idea of a compromising composite.
Not surprisingly, the idea never crossed my mind. But why did you reject the notion?
Dobra, dobra.
I refused to believe Lawton so
Z
weak
tymi
as to risk
sejfami
his
to
nation's
ostrożny.
security on the strength of a bogus picture. Even one that might scotch his marriage prospects. I never dreamed that a royal person would be fitted up as his fictitious partner.
I see. Circulation of such a photo would initiate a scandal. It would sully the monarchy, shake the government, and ruin his personal hopes with Lady Lockridge.
His behavior becomes comprehensible, but not forgivable. He is culpable in this matter. There is still a price for foolishness, though he may not have to pay it in public.
No okej, dobra, czy jeszcze rodzina królewska jest zaangażowana. Okej, a my potrzebujemy jeszcze wykorzystać ten folder, żeby odkryć nową lokację.
Central Exchange? This is the Lord Mayor's office. A document here requires urgent delivery, but I only have the party's telephone number. Can you supply me with the address, please? Holborn 232.
Nie mamy.
That's just beyond the viaduct, is it? Thank you. Mystery importing indeed.
Mystery importing indeed. Dobra, saveik. I możemy stąd spadać.
Has anything escaped me, Watson?
I should think so, Holmes. If Hargrove is a central figure in this debacle, worry the slime. Torture would be too good for him.
Albo nie, albo jeszcze coś
Has
trzeba
anything
zrobić.
escaped?
Okej,
I should think so.
coś jeszcze trzeba zrobić z nim.
Please connect me to Holborn 232. I beg your pardon. Wrong number. Someone is there, Watson.
Excellent.
Did Scarrett commission the composite of Lord Lawton and the Princess Royale?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do not trifle with me,
Cześć, królu
Hargrove.
sucharów.
You lack the wit and intelligence. Scarrett stole these photographs from Lord Lawton. He hired you to construct a composite from them.
Hardly hired. But I did a beautiful job. The Princess and Lawton look like two lovebirds.
You kept a copy?
Absolutely not. She is a royal personage. Scarrett
Personage.
took the negative.
Jakieś jeszcze
Give me the name
rodzinę
of
królewską. Nie dość,
Scarrett's
że
boss
kradną,
or
to
suffer
rodzinę
the
królewską
consequences.
wrabiają.
There is no third way.
Major Mystery telephoned. Told me to expect Scarrett and to accommodate him.
Peculiar name. Why did Mystery's message mean anything to you?
The Major is more frightening than a nightmare, and as elusive. That he is never seen, that his disembodied voice personally never threatens, contributes to his reputation for ruthless evil. When the Major asks for something, compliance is guaranteed. Denial is not an option.
What makes you say so?
Henry Chambers' gold watch.
Explain.
Chambers was a friend. He ran afoul of the Major and thought to make his escape. I saw him off for France with his wife and child. They've disappeared. Their luggage sits unclaimed on the quay at Calais. When Scarrett first came in, he showed me Chambers' watch.
Okej, no dobra, no to chyba mamy wszystko.
The action begins to quicken, Watson. Are you ready to proceed?
You've rushed ahead of me, Holmes. Are we after Scarrett?
We'll get to Scarrett. I know him now. He's dangerous, but a lackey nonetheless.
The man's a savage.
Indeed. His attack on Mycroft was reckless and crude. He might have killed 20 men with no more thought than had he squashed a cockroach.
The execution of Pratt was gratuitously vicious, and he ordered the murder of the Silverbridge boy without a moment's hesitation.
All true. Still, this conspiracy is too big for him. It requires a criminal operative of quite a different order. Our quarry is the eponymously named Major Mystery.
Major Mystery. Teraz już chyba możemy stąd iść.
Are you ready to proceed, Doctor? The case increases in interest.
Mają
And in
zagadki
danger,
epickie.
I imagine. Should the police be notified?
I'd rather circulation of the stories of the ministry theft and the extortion involving a royal person be severely restricted.
Perhaps Hargrove should be immobilized. I wouldn't want Major Mystery or Scarlet prepared for our arrival.
No, Hargrove has parted company with the Major. If he follows his form, the Major will demand swift and violent retribution for the betrayal. Lestrade affords him the only protection he can expect this side of heaven. He won't do anything that might alienate the institution that can protect him. Do we understand one another, Hargrove?
Perfectly. I never saw the formula or the royal person. You were never here. Give me the telephone. Perhaps Lestrade could find me a private cell while his office undertakes a lengthy investigation into an accusation of pornography. I'll suggest it.
Okej. Dobra. Teraz już idziemy. Tu się powinna pojawić nowa lokalizacja. Nie pamiętam w którym miejscu. Jest. Mystery Import Export.
That wasn't too difficult. Let's not announce our presence.
Cześć.
Should you weary of your work, you might consider a career in unlawful entry. Your expertise exceeds that of a cat burglar.
Dobra. Ten kalendarz jest nam potrzebny. Tak jest.
I believe I hear snoring.
Pipe down then. Our advantage will be lost.
Zamknięte. W związku z czym potrzeby jest tradycyjny numer z kluczem. Klucz jest w zamku. W związku z czym potrzebujemy podłożyć kartkę papieru. Użyć igły.
I heard a distinct clink. We've likely lost the element of surprise. I'm an idiot, Watson.
Nonsense, Holmes. Perhaps it didn't fall far from the door. If he hasn't heard us before now, that noise won't alert him.
Yes. I teraz mamy kluczyk. I tym kluczykiem można już otworzyć drzwi. Yes.
Gentlemen, I was resting my eyes. I didn't...
Stay where
Yep.
you are, Mystery. Speak when spoken to and keep your hands in view.
Tak jest, Watson jest przygotowany. Dobra, tutaj. Dzień dobry, co my tu mamy?
Bad.
Co? Co on mówił? O, jest. To są z tego co pamiętam piranie, więc wkładanie tam ręki to nie jest dobry pomysł. Watson wyciągnął długopis. Tak, to jest długopis. O, narkotyki. Okay. A, tu kot jeszcze siedzi. Secure drawer. Okay.
Are you trying to cause a hernia?
No dobra.
Major Mystery, I am Sherlock Holmes.
Were he here, I'm sure Mystery, that's M-I-S-T-E-R-A-Y, would excuse your common mispronunciation of his name. I am Jeremiah M. Story, an acquaintance.
If you like, why not Jose Ray Martin? Never mind. Offal by any other name smells the same.
Your speech, Mr. Holmes, is as offensive as your presence is unwanted. To what do I owe this unorthodox intrusion?
To crime, you scoundrel. Your crimes and those of your despicable surrogates have brought me here. Your insidious scheme has unraveled completely, Mr. A. Will you confess your part in it?
I would deem your declaration to be less than worthless if I knew what you were talking about.
Your plan to sell Professor Dewar's formula to von Bismarck is ruined. Your client has killed himself, and his copy of the formula is seized. The crimes committed to support your plan have failed. I'm about to tie an adamantine knot around a large and cruel conspiracy, and you are the rope. Plain enough?
Talk is cheaper and your time less valuable than I had imagined.
Where is the key for this drawer?
I have no idea. I don't believe Mr. A keeps anything in there.
A locked drawer with nothing in it? I don't think so. Empty your pockets. You share artistic tastes with the depraved photographer Hargrove.
Whoever that is, presumably it is not a crime to appreciate great art.
No, but it is the other side of lawful to possess it without the benefit of a bill of sale.
I'll tell Mr. A we're concerned.
What are these fish?
Aurora and Borealis, fascinating creatures. They're Amazonian piranhas, the world's most predacious and voracious chatterseeds.
Suitable companions for you, I'm sure. You are many things, Mr. A, but not slovenly, I think.
My name is Story. Why do you address me incorrectly?
What can your name matter? However you call yourself, you are certainly a villain. You are many things. What can your...
To już było.
How long has the aquarium been here?
I have no idea. It's not mine, as I've said. You are not quite as bright as I've been led to believe, Mr. Holmes.
I won't be distracted by puerile insults.
I merely state an opinion. Such chicanery is beneath me.
Nothing is beneath you. You are the sort of contemptible outlaw who coerces others to do his bidding, a completely amoral puppet master. And I will stop at nothing to destroy you and your agents.
I have nothing more to say to you, Holmes. Call in the hobnailed boots if you wish. My solicitor will deal with them.
Okay. Nie chcę, żeby się wywaliła gra, w sensie, no sam nie pomoże jak się wywali, ale przynajmniej będziemy mieli save'a. Pytam, czy to akwarium trzeba zbić na pewno, ale nie pamiętam czym je zbijaliśmy, tylko nie wiem czy nie trzeba mu najpierw pokazać. Nie, banknoc, też nie. To jest ta formuła, nie? Tak. Tu jest ten trident i ten trident to jest chyba klucz do... Okej. Dobra, aquarium break.
Have you lost your mind, Holmes? Control your temper. You'll only mutilate your hand. That glass is specially hardened. Couldn't break it with a hammer.
I will have that trident, Watson.
Cześć, Ryan. Czy w końcu, pierwszy raz od kiedy go nosimy, przyda się pistolet? Yep.
You are cruel, Mr. Holmes. Poor, defenseless creatures.
It is typically repulsive and perverted that you reserve your sympathy for things vicious by nature, rather than inclination.
Dobra, mamy teraz ten trident. Ten trident to jest klucz do biurka.
Look here, Watson. Evidence, so dear to the heart of Scotland Yard. Are you still smug, Mr. A?
I think so little of your acumen, let alone your evidence, silence will serve me best. None of those things can be tied to me.
I don't wonder you've lost your voice. All your plans have now gone south. Your attempt to compromise British security has failed utterly.
What have you found, Holmes?
Enough to cook a very tough goose. German currency, a wad of fivers, and the photographic negative of Dewar's formula.
Okej. Jemu chyba jeszcze trzeba pokazać jakiego tego mapshota.
You recognize Colonel Merlindorf? Yes, I can see you do.
A fop with a beard. Never laid eyes on him.
Lies są. Wszystko kłamstwo. Teraz chyba formułę można mu pokazać. Nie, jeszcze nie. Trzeba go jeszcze za język pociągnąć.
Did I mention that Merlindorf died in his army uniform? The Lord Chief Justice
No,
takes a
chciał
dim
Niemcom
view of
sprzedać.
treason.
The
No,
Prussian
no,
can
formuła.
hardly corroborate your wild charges.
The game is up, Mr. A.
Prusakom.
Give me the man called Scarrett, and you might save yourself from his fate, which is certain execution.
You are not the police, and even if you were, you've nothing that will stick to the Major. Twist and turn as you will, you have no proof of anything. Give it to the coppers, see what they say.
I can see you don't fear the police, but I won't confine my report to them. I am not without contacts in the underworld. I'll circulate the story that you betrayed the Prussian for profit. I'll make you an international renegade and a pariah among your own kind.
Were I the person you seek, you might double-cross me anyway.
You'll have to trust me, won't you? This string is played out, Mr. A. Where is the scurrilous composite of Lord Lawton and Princess Alexandra? Does Vincent Scarrett have it?
You continue to allude to matters about which I have no knowledge.
My eye, I'm sure you've insulated yourself from direct involvement in these several crimes. As you won't give up, Scarrett, we'll let Scotland Yard and your underworld colleagues sort it out. I'll parcel out the details in my own manner. The report will not show you in good light.
Vincent is like a son to me, Mr. Holmes, but I'm truly mortified by these vile allegations. If he has wandered beyond the bounds of good judgment, and it appears from what I've seen and heard that he might have done, I could hazard a guess about where he might be found, providing Lestrade and the others you mentioned may be kept out of this.
I'm listening, Mr. A. Naturally, I will have to test your veracity.
A nasty den on the river is his favorite haunt. Place has a nautical name. Vincent's a bit rough on the
O,
margins.
i to jest ta knajpa, do której
Your
na,
appraisal is too
której na
modest.
zaplecze
He is in
próbujemy
fact
się
a brutal
dostać
killer,
od jakichś
a
3
cruel
odcinków.
extortionist, and an unredeemable villain.
That as may be, but you'll discover he's as docile as a house cat. I warn you, any calumny against me will fall on deaf ears. He may turn mute.
I will find his tongue.
Dobra, to jeszcze... Jeszcze to, no chyba już nam dał tą lokalizację, ale nie wiem, czy jeszcze trzeba coś z niego wyciągnąć. Negatyw, ok, czyli tu jest ten negatyw tylko teraz, czy to jest negatyw tej formuły, czy to sfotoshopowane zdjęcie pary królewskiej. German banknotes, ok. Nie, on już nic. Sprawdźmy, czy coś mu można pokazać. Nie, chyba już nic. Dobra, to wyglądało, że tutaj to już jest koniec. Watson, trzymaj go na muszce.
How do you find the mastermind of this criminal enterprise?
Appearances must be deceiving, Holmes. He looks like my estate agent.
Do not underestimate him, Watson. The range of this conspiracy is decisive proof that behind the tranquil facade lives a malignant brain. He commands a network of thugs and vulnerable dupes. No crime is too great for their collective contemplation and execution. In every man's misfortune, he sees an opportunity to do harm. Shoot him if he tries to leave, Watson.
That's hardly likely, is it, Holmes?
Incarceration may seem to him the proverbial fate worse than death. Prison would curtail his activity, and the authorities could not provide the protection to which a man with enemies is accustomed. Remember, however he seems, he is a desperate adventurer, a cynical, unprincipled fiend.
Not an attractive specimen, then.
Hold him in contempt, Watson, but do not depreciate his capacity for evil, or for harm. The connection between Skerritt and Pratt is finally clear, Watson. They were opium eaters.
Indeed? I didn't see it. I don't see it still.
Hargrove saw it, and Lloyd Jones smelled it. The two met, smoked, and shared secrets common to their addiction. Unbeknownst to Pratt, Skerritt was trawling for information, and he hooked it.
You mean he learned that Pratt was a ministry clerk with access to sensitive documents?
Yes, he learned all about Mycroft's ministry committee. The foibles and frailties of the members would be well known to Pratt, especially Lawton. They would be fine topics for conversation.
So Skerritt coerced him to steal the formula with something he learned during their sessions. What might they have had on him?
Debts? Evidence of unethical or immoral behavior? Perhaps they threatened him with death or mutilation. I've been gathering wool, Watson. I had this information and didn't put it together.
Starza się najlepszym. Coś jeszcze, Watsonie?
You stay here. I will see Skerritt in his den, or know the reason why.
Will you go alone?
Hold on. I thought our business was completed. I've given you Vincent.
You are mistaken. Skerritt is a servant, and you are his master. He can do everything for you except serve your jail sentence.
Easy, Holmes. Haste makes waste, or whatever cliché might bring you to your senses. Let's bring Lestrade into this now.
Do you think Skerritt will simply slink away as the net closes around him? The man is capable of anything, and he tried to kill my brother.
Your zeal has overcome your judgment. Don't be rash in your rush for revenge. If you go to that den as you are, you'll come to harm.
Don't fear. I will travel incognito, but I must take my chances alone. He must not get wind of all that has happened. Guard Mr. A. Watson. Farewell. We shall meet again.
No i teraz się przyda to przebranie, o którym rozmawialiśmy w ubiegłym tygodniu. Zostało tylko kilka miejsc. Nas interesuje Weary Pound, ale najpierw do haberdashery.
I need a nautical ensemble, Stitch. Can you help?
A late invitation to a dress ball, Mr. Holmes. Never go wrong as Lord Nelson.
Admiral of the Fleet is too patrician. Something much further down the ranks would serve me better.
But there's plenty of seaman's gear in the back. A patch and spike will sell the look. Just return 'em as you found 'em.
No jakby się za admirała przebrał, to trochę byłby overkill w tej knajpie. No tutaj też ten strój marynarza wygląda bardziej jak z tego, jak ze sztuki, w sensie jak ze sztuki teatralnej, no ale na bezrybiu i rak ryba. Okej, to chyba wszystko. Chyba, że on nam coś jeszcze powie.
Any advice on how to carry off the disguise?
Well, avoid arg or shiver me timbers, you'll do fine.
Okej. No okej, dobra.
Merde!
Better have a gin to wet my whistle.
Your whistle's almost drowned by the sound of it, mate, but I never argue with a sailor what knows his mind when he's carrying a marlinspike.
Give me a place in the back, mate.
That's not how it's done, old salt. Been here before, have you?
Seen your mug half a dozen
Tak,
times, you
za moment
Tasmanian
nawet.
devil.
There's something familiar about you. You know my rules, then?
They just slipped out of mind.
No strangers, no credit, no noise, no exceptions.
Dobra. Najpierw trzeba mu się pokazać, że tu bywamy. A to się robi pokazując chyba to pudełko zapałek. Tak. Tak, bywam.
You remember this from the matchbox. It pays to advertise. You're moving in the right direction.
I oczywiście pieniążki.
They'll buy you cream tea at Lions or something stronger in the back. You part ways to Nirvana.
You've got your liquor. The matches is my bona fides, all right?
Fine as far as it goes, mate, but you still owe me something.
I'm trying to lose my troubles and you put more in my way.
Just protecting my business. I got a reputation. Can't let just anybody back there. Now tell me what I want to hear or take a hike.
You and your parrot aren't Freemasons, are you? Or explorers?
Damnation, blasting bloody hell, what are you talking about?
Nothing, I suppose.
Don't play around. You've worn out your welcome. What's the words?
On potrzebuje, żeby się mu hasło podali. To jest hasło, no tylko z polecenia wpuszcza opiumistów na zaplecze. Hasło zna oczywiście... Tak, papuga między innymi po niemiecku. O. Going East to jest to hasło, zdaje się. Tak. Dobra. Hasło to było... Co mówię? Going East? Going East, tak.
I think I remember the word you're looking for.
Years. All right then, go on through. Pipes are on the left. Remember now, no trouble, no noise.
No, no trouble, no noise. I tu jest nasz arcywróg Scarlet.
Deranged as you are, Skerrit, I'm not surprised you seek consolation in this den of iniquity.
Interfere with me at your peril, sailor. You don't know what you're dealing with.
False. You're a vicious criminal. Fortunately for the rest of us, your competence is not equal to your intent. My brother survived the outrage at the Diogenes. Young Silverbridge is safely rescued, and the Ministry formula never left the country. Even in your brutal and senseless murder of the hapless Pratt, you lost your gun. Not a good innings for you. Consider yourself detained. You'll be hanged at Crown expense.
It's the great Holmes, is it, in that sailor gear? Go peddle your papers. The police have no proof I've committed a crime.
Not yet. But I have a witness who saw you execute Pratt. Your defeat is total. Your paramour is dead, likewise your Prussian client. The ill-gotten money has been seized along with your patron. Incidentally, contrary to popular opinion, there is no honor among thieves. Mr. A betrayed you in an instant.
Did you think you would talk me into submission? I should have done you on the Cambridge train. I didn't see the reason then, but it's clear I might have saved myself some trouble. So to all vermin.
Drop it, Scarret. Your real trouble is about to begin.
O, Holmes. I to wszystko z biodra. Marynarz się nie zastanawia, od razu go do kanału
Fine
spuścił.
disguise, Holmes. Your mother wouldn't know you. But what's happened here? I heard shots.
Scarret gave me no selection, Watson. He is dead by a bullet from his own gun, and disposed of. Perhaps Needham will make a half-crown from his body. What was I playing at? I should have known he would have had another weapon. Where is Mr. A, by the way?
I handed him over to the inspectors you sent. They slipped the derbies on him and let him off.
The diabolical sod is clever, Watson. He deceived you. I sent no one. Pride goes before the fall, they say. We'll get another chance at him.
I'm feeling a bit unsteady,
Szukali
Holmes.
Watsona.
Might we leave?
Of course, Doctor. A wash and a stiff scotch will set us to rights. The man who tried to kill Mycroft is dead. I rather wish I didn't feel so good about it. It will pass. Mycroft must be informed. I don't relish the prospect of seeing Matron again.
Perhaps she's warmed to you.
No more than a lap rug might warm the polar cap. I'll write to him first. We'll look in on Mycroft when he returns to the arms.
Yes, so your message said. Wonderfully detailed, by the way. The minister was most impressed. Your discretion was widely appreciated. The death of this Scarret fellow was unavoidable. You had no choice.
I didn't think your health enough improved to attend my funeral.
Most thoughtful. Any news of his ludicrously named employer?
Major Mystery is at large.
Well, you tied up the other bits very nicely. Carter is pleased. I've heard from Silverbridge,
Byłaby
even
podstawa
Lawton is
do
chastened.
trzeciej części.
You have just cause for celebration.
Mr. Holmes, you're not resting. Matron specifically warned me that your brother would overstay his allotted time. He has interfered with your feeding.
Very well, sister. He and Dr. Watson are just leaving. You may bring in that gruel masquerading as food. We only have a moment, Sherlock. I don't wish Matron to receive a bad report. My minister informs me that a certain gracious lady has requested your attendance at Kensington. Please wear a clean cravat. My thanks for all you've done.
Best not keep her waiting. Be well, brother. Watson?
My appreciation, Mr. Holmes. I don't mind saying that your account was more
Hello, Victoria.
enlightening than the PM's. You're certain my grandson was not implicated in the travesty?
Absolutely, ma'am. The Kaiser was truly outraged by the theft. His assistance in apprehending the malefactors was invaluable.
Your sovereign and your nation are grateful for your discreet and expeditious handling of this delicate matter, Mr. Holmes. And if you will pardon the language, this mystery seems the scum of the earth.
Your language is always appropriate, ma'am.
I'm ashamed of my part in this, ma'am. I trust there is no reason for the Prince of Wales to learn of it. I should think not. I regret that Bertie is far from a model of discretion in these matters. And you are not culpable, Alexandra. It was that Lawton fellow. Lawton behaved a perfect fool, your Majesty. But I was not blameless. I was so grateful when he cleaned up the awful mess Prince Eddie made. I don't believe I could have denied Lawton anything he asked. Perhaps I was flirting a little. Still, it was most unwise to have sent such a photograph. I apologize, ma'am. Ancient history, my dear. Think no more of it. This story need not leave this room at any time soon, Mr. Holmes.
Indeed not, Your Majesty. The public, the police, and most of the government shall remain ignorant of the entire matter. The formula is secure. The composite has been recovered. Most of the villains have paid the ultimate penalty for their crimes. I'm sure one of the late Prince's charities can find a use for the Prussians' money.
Thank you. Now, indulge me for a moment more. Brown, if you will.
Sherlock
Please
dostanie
assume the customary position.
tytuł szlachecki.
For services to country and crown, I dub thee Knight of the Distinguished Service Order.
Nie ma medalu
Arise.
dla Czubaki, nie ma tytułu dla Watsona.
This honor, like the rest of this wretched matter, must remain a secret. I'm sorry.
If I have rendered service to my brother, to my country, and to you, ma'am, I am justly and handsomely rewarded.
Nicely said, Sir Sherlock. Doctor, Brown will show you out.
I po sprawie.
A grateful and generous sovereign is a fine thing, Holmes.
Indeed, but no better than a true friend. My thanks for all you did, Watson. The case has concluded, Watson. Are you near finishing your account?
I've recorded most of its events, those I witnessed and those you told me about, but the historical record demands a summary. Some issues are not entirely clear.
I am not surprised. This was a most peculiar and troubling matter.
I admired your reasoning early on that the three investigations were linked. The suppression of the inquiry and the attempt on Mycroft were in support of the theft. Nevertheless, I lost my way through the investigation a number of times.
You are not alone. I call to your attention the complexity of the conspiracy, its political, diplomatic and military implications, the dazzling audacity of the villains, the calculated cruelty in support of treason. Is it any wonder we made a false start or two?
I must say that it did not help that you were enraged by the attempt on Mycroft's life.
I accept that criticism. My anger may have been as much of a debility as it was an inspiration. But I was not prepared for any solution to the matter which did not include the apprehension of his would-be assassin.
Fortunately, he turned out to be a person we wanted for other reasons. Are you satisfied with the disposition of the committee members?
They will answer to Mycroft. Everybody in this case but he was self-interested. To varying degrees, they were petty, mean, foolish, greedy, ambitious, vicious, or just plain stupid. Some had better reasons than others. Those will serve as mitigation.
Why did you let Lawton off so easily? The man is a self-righteous idiot who has gambled his way into debt and must make an unpleasant marriage to get out of it.
My anger is spent, Watson. Should more lives be ruined by this wretched business? I could produce the chain of evidence that would cook his goose, but royal involvement made it very fragile. He will suffer for his deeds, I guarantee it.
I suspect that you knew the composite was the crux of the case much earlier than you revealed to me.
That is a just and succinct summation, Watson. We should let it rest there.
Amazing, Holmes. Should I live 100 years, I'm sure I shall never meet your equal.
My thanks, Watson. Major Mr. A, I think, would warmly disagree with your generous praise. No doubt we shall have to deal with him in time. There was no real acquiescence in the man. He will find another cat's paw to do his bidding. I believe I could sacrifice my life gladly if such a man could be eliminated.
O, tam komplement.
The Bosworth emeralds have gone missing. Disappeared into thin air, apparently. Police are mystified. That's hardly newsworthy. It's their natural state.
You'll be asked to put your head to that puzzlement before too long, or I'm no judge of the skills of Scotland Yard. Speaking of which, how was your interview with Lestrade?
He's not happy. But what can he do? His corpses are identified, the crimes which caused them are solved. He's ignorant of the political implications, of course. Speaking of which, I suppose Bismarck's future is not very bright. I shouldn't be surprised to see him dismissed ignominiously in the near future. I don't know if that will be a good or bad thing for the Kaiser. Or for England.
All of Europe is tending toward a tizzy, Holmes. When the old queen dies, there will be war, I'll wager.
I'm afraid you may be right. Fights among families are often the most bitter. Still, she's good for some years, I imagine. We will keep her confidence, won't we, Doctor?
I've taken measures, Holmes. The privacy of the royal family will be protected. For a century, anyhow. Play that phrase again, will you?
No, to by było na tyle. Bardzo dobra gra. Bardzo mi się podobała. Gdyby nie to, że się zepsuła w jednej chwili, to byłaby bezbłędnym tytułem. No i owinęliśmy się w godzinę. Dzięki, że wpadliście. Powtórzę, że podcast już czeka na przesłuchanie. Ile części łącznie? Ta jest chyba 8, ale byłoby 7, gdyby nie ta wpadka z zeszłego tygodnia. Rozpiski na przyszły tydzień spodziewajcie się jutro po południu. Co następne? Jeszcze nie wiem, zastanawiam się. Potrzebuję czegoś dobrego i krótkiego, żeby się zamknąć w 2, 3 częściach, tak żebym nie musiał tego ciągnąć przez kolejne 4 miesiące. Więc coś skromnego. Zostawiam was z tymi napisami i podsumowaniem i do zobaczenia w przyszłym tygodniu. Trzymajcie się, pa!